The Utah State basketball game is final, and now it's your chance to text and call about it with Al Lewis and John Russell as KVNU Aggie Game Day continues with Aggie Call. The numbers are 753-5868 for calls, and the text line is 435-339-0321. Aggie Call, part of KVNU Aggie Game Day for USU Hoops, is sponsored by Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, LSS Insurance, Young Truck and Trailer, DD Auto and Salvage, My Mattress, Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning, Elements Restaurant, White Pine Funeral Home, Les Olson Company, Prodigy Brewing, Cache Valley Bank, Jarek's Fine Jewelry, Darrell's Appliance, HSA Depot, Advanced Fireplace and Stove, Alpine Home Medical, S.E. Needham Jewelers, Thermo Fisher, Primrose Home Care, and Golden Spike Electric. It's KVNU Aggie Call with Al Lewis and John Russell.
Do you realize, John Russell, that I think the Aggies led for 18 seconds in the game at Boise earlier this year? And tonight, Boise State leads for 23 seconds of this game. The home teams dominate. Not as much of a win for the Aggies over Boise State as up at Boise State. Boise made a run at them. They got back within 6 down the stretch at 77-71. But what a great finish by the Aggies at that point of the game in the last 2:14. Taylor Funk, three-pointer on senior night. He was terrific shooting the ball when he hadn't been the last couple of games. Got the Aggies out to 80-71, and that was really it. The final 86-73. They beat Boise State.
What a great ball game in so many different ways. The Aggies performed, I think, one of the best halves they played all year in the first half, and in the second half withstood the little runs. But Taylor Funk, you and Jalen have talked about it, that he needed to see some through once he got those buckets.
How about those rebound baskets right at the start of the game? That
indeed.
really helped him. An offensive rebound up in the air to make the game 6-3. And then eventually he ended up with another rebound basket at 10-9, and that gave the Aggies the lead the rest of the basketball game.
Yeah.
After that, they went. Boise had the lead 9-8 at that point. That was their only lead in the game early.
So good to see the Aggies play so well and get a lead and be able to withstand, a run in the second half. Once again, they finished the first half a little weak. We got to work on that.
They can't make the last shot. They can't. And they seem to let the other team kind of back into the game a little bit. Yeah.
And you saw that. But they came out, they played well, got it up to 16, I think, at one point, and really withstood. That's a good Boise team. And I'll tell you what, Al, Spectrum, there are a lot of kids that decided to put off their spring break plans and stuck around. The crowd was phenomenal. They were loud all night. They were responding. I ran into Brock Miller right at the beginning of the game, and I asked him, I said, so tell me, Brock, senior night, how did you feel? And he kind of just deflected it. And he was like, well, yeah, it was fun. This is going to be a good ball game.
He was still kind of struggling with his health at that time on his senior night. But again, still was there and all that.
But nonetheless, and he did that. And I said, come on, Brock, you got to give me some more. And he gave me a big old grin. And he said, I'm going to be the loudest person in this arena tonight. I'm going to be cheering so loud.
Well, because he was with a lot of these guys, obviously, except for Funk and Akin last year for this Aggie basketball team that came through tonight to win start to finish against Boise State. It was 47-33 at the half. Boise did, again, it went out then to 60-44. That's the second half 16-point lead that they had. And then Boise State, it's still 65-49 at the next media break. And then they started to chip away. At 71-58 at 7:07, the last media timeout. And then it went to 71-60. It went to 70-62. They were within 9 for the first time in single digits. Bairstow made that big hook and a drive in the key, get them Aggies an 11-point lead. And then only Akin with the 2 free throws for the next little while. Well, they had 67. So they're back to 75-67. They made it 77-71, and that was with 2:14 to play. And then they come out of that play. Funk hits the 3 after the timeout, and then Utah State, Whiting throws the air ball off of a rebound. They could still counter. They do not. And then Akin makes the 2 free throws at the other end. And then Degenhart drives, and then they get the intentional foul and then deliberate foul. Funk makes the 2 free throws. The Aggies get the ball back, and they inbound the ball under the basket for a lay-in, and it's 86-73, and that is it. And Utah State and Boise State tie for second in the conference.
I'll tell you what, that is not a ball club that I would like to play again.
Next Friday night, if everybody wins like they're supposed to, you're supposed to.
But I'll tell you, they're a great ball club. I just really impressed with how well they played. You know, a lot of people like to whine about Rice and how he's a whiner and a complainer. It's a good ball club. They've got good players. But tonight, really, I think the mood was set in that first half. The defensive effort they put on, we saw good efforts by everyone. Great to see Z come out. He played extremely well on the defensive end. He did a great job. Ashworth is always just solid. And
what a night of scoring, but passing and setting people up and handling it and doing everything that he did tonight.
Clearly the leader. He shows why he's the guy, and the rest of the guys feed off of him, and he feeds off the crowd. Every time down, he was waving his arms to get the crowd into it, and it was a loud one. If I get a little too loud, you got to watch the board there. I may be a little loud because my ears are still ringing a little bit.
Really, though, senior night, and Bairstow had his moments in this game. Dorius, again, a little bit. I mean, it was a tougher game for him to play, you could tell. But I'll tell you what, Taylor Funk, coming back on his senior night to finish off his regular season with the Aggies. What a terrific addition he has been. We've talked about that during the year. He still got some things done the other night, Ashworth said, with just 2 points, and now tonight he got a lot of stuff done with his big scoring game.
And that's a great point. Scored well. He great night from the floor. He scored well. Had a confidence about him. Hit that 3-pointer at the end where it was just kind of that was the Funk we've seen in the past. And I'll tell you what, if you're going to come out of it, now's the time to do it. Getting ready for the tournament. And but he was great, and you just saw the leaders really kind of led the team tonight, without a doubt.
24 wins for Utah State, again, starts to be among the elite numbers. It's close to being about a top 10 year. Again, with these 2 losses Nevada has had the last little while to Wyoming and now to UNLV at home today, that's got to put them where Utah State was the bubble team, and now Utah State's got to be the other team from the Mountain West that's got to be there. I know they're still listed as the last 4 out going into today and some of those things and all, but I've just got to think that here's a quad 1 win. Now, the problem is, if we beat Boise State, we might have knocked them out of the quad 1. They're 27. It's I don't know what'll end up happening. They've had a pretty good year. They shouldn't move back too far, so hopefully you can keep that. And then you go to the tournament. Now you're going to play not as we expected. It looked like San Jose State. Mm-hmm. We thought that'd be because we thought we've had a tough time with that. We thought it would be Nevada winning today, and so then we would automatically be 4th, even if we won this game tonight. Would have been. But now you're playing the latest game on Thursday night, and you're playing the winner of the 6-11 game, which will be New Mexico or Wyoming. And hey, Wyoming hadn't been bad lately either. Colorado State hadn't been bad lately either. So, UNLV, they certainly showed today that they could come back from the whooping we put on them.
Well, in years past, you'd sit down and say, 6-11 matchup. That's easy. You're going to get the numbers. So you can plan for them. But I just don't know what New Mexico is.
Colorado State beat them last night.
Colorado State beat them and really didn't just beat them with a few lucky baskets. They beat them.
New Mexico didn't play any defense on the game. Colorado State played great offensively, out-rebounded by 11 or something last night.
And so they did really well. So I think this is tough on the coaching staff, that they truly have to look at both teams, try and prepare for both teams, because I would not be surprised at all if Wyoming were the matchup come the opening round.
Because of the way they've been playing lately. They beat Nevada, and they've given some other teams a hard time.
But what a great way the Aggies are playing to go into the Mountain West tournament the way they have. Huge win down in Vegas. I mean, just dominated them, crushed them. And then to turn around and get this win at home.
5 in a row.
Yeah, that's where you want to be.
All right, so let's get started, Aggie fans. You can call, you can text. Our phone number is 753-5868, 753-KVNU. Or you can use the text line, which is 435-339-0321. Love to have you join with us because it's really your show, and we'll also get some comments. I'm sure you got to think that Taylor Funk will be one of the guys that will talk. Usually they've only had one lately up in the Spectrum, so I would think him and the coach coming up later on. So we will return. Game day's underway. Aggies with a 24th win of the year, tie for second in conference play, beat Boise State tonight. The final score again, 86-73, and we're back after this.
Miss a minute? You're missing a lot. Breaking news, stimulating talk, news talk, KVNU Logan, 610 AM and 102.1 FM.
Alpine Home Medical has been around for over 25 years. Can you believe that? Hi, I'm Jay Broadbent. What keeps us coming to work every day? We're passionate about caring for you. From home and bathroom safety to transportation, mobility, recovery, oxygen, sleep, and more, come into any of our 10 locations today and let us take care of you.
Alpine Home Medical, we bring wellness home.
Visit us at alpinehomemedical.com.
Hi, this is James Stevens with White Pine Funeral Services. At White Pine, we value compassion, integrity, and service. We are committed to serving you and treating your family as our family. We will be here when you need us most, to listen, to help, and to provide exactly what your circumstances require. At White Pine, we promise to dedicate our time and attention to you and your family. We invite you to come by and meet us. We're confident you'll feel a difference.
This is Ryan at My Mattress. Life is good. Life at My Mattress is good too. Why might I say that? Because today is a good day to slay a Goliath. The other day I went into a mattress store here in Logan that has 2,500 stores across the country. I'd say that's a Goliath. We were 20% less expensive on every bed that we both offer. We may not have 2,500 stores, but we are number one in Cache Valley. Better product and better prices. Isn't it time to sleep exceptionally? Only at My Mattress.
As a small business, achieving your financial goals and ambitions can be a steep and rocky mountain climb. This is Lance Zollinger, president at Cache Valley Bank. To conquer the mountain and achieve your goals, it takes planning, hard work, and discipline. At Cache Valley Bank, we have the resources, expertise, and flexibility to help you scale your way to success. Give us a call. Let's work together and climb the mountains that await. Cache Valley Bank, member FDIC.
As we have learned this year, viruses can travel through the air, causing an illness. Most virus droplets fall to the ground, but smaller particles may remain in the air longer. Now more than ever, you need clean air in your home. Let Advanced Heating and AC install an air filtration system in your home with HEPA filters. Dust, pollen, and more are floating in the air in your home. Get rid of them with a system that promotes proper ventilation and filtration. Learn how by calling Advanced Heating and AC, and it's online at advancedheating-ac.com.
It's KVNU Aggie Game Day, brought to you by DD Auto and Salvage on News Talk KVNU.
Al Lewis, John Russell, and with you tonight, it is your show again for texts at 435-339-0321. Aggies with the victory tonight at home in the Spectrum. That now makes the Aggies 14-2 at home this year. Again, 13-5, their conference record. One of the best conference records we've had in the 10 years we've been in the league. And we have beaten everybody in the league now with Ryan Odom as coach. He had not beaten Boise State.
Yep.
And I wrote that down here. He's now 1-3 against Boise, but he's beaten everybody in the conference, never lost to Air Force, never lost to New Mexico or to UNLV at this particular point either.
Great, and a great win. And just, we heard some squawking earlier in the year about maybe Odom wasn't the right guy, and whether, I'll tell you what, he's proven the last several games. He's taken a team that was projected to be 8th, 9th in the conference, and here we are all of a sudden, like you said, 12-5.
And 24-7.
24-7 overall. With really
21 in the net ranking today, NCAA.
And we'll only move up. And taking pieces. I mean, let's face it, you had a nice foundation. I like, you got Ashworth, Bairstow, Dorius. Dorius is clearly the most improved player, I think, not only on the team but in the league. You look at what he did last year compared to what he's done
like
this year.
Like the coach said on my pregame before, he was not really playing at the end of the year. He kind of had gotten even out of the rotation at the end of the year.
And to see what he's done, and there's going to be people, he's only playing, 10, 12 minutes a game.
Most effective guy in his minutes played. I've said that maybe all year long in college basketball.
Without a doubt. He's been phenomenal. Ashworth is the true leader and all that. But then to be able to take some pieces, and bring in Akin and Funk and have them be, as big of a contributor as they've been. And I've been a little critical of R.J. Idlerock. He has finished the year just like we wanted him to, just incredibly solid.
How can anybody else be in the league the sixth man of the year other than Dan Akin?
Yeah.
Nobody could be.
Well, if that happens, that'll be the biggest travesty. That'll be even bigger than the year Utah State ended up missing and having to play Hawaii in the NIT. But
when they were ranked in the top 25.
He's just every night the game changes when Dan comes in. It becomes different. He has that excitement, that fire. I've had a couple of friends and associates who said, "I just wish he wouldn't flop around." That's his game. He's physical. He's going to jump up. He's going to wave his arms. He's going to bark a little bit. But you know what, I am glad he's on our team.
The Aggies only had 9 turnovers today. He had 4 of them.
Yeah.
But he only had 2 boards tonight. I thought he got more rebounds than that, but he did have 3 assists with his 14 points. And he was 6 for 6 at the foul line. Yeah. This is a guy, when he played for Ryan Odom before, couldn't shoot 50% at the line. And Coach Odom continues to say every time, that's where he's improved about as much as anything is with his free throw shooting. And it's big because he gets fouled a lot.
Yeah, and it's important. And,
where he plays, he's going to get fouled
and
a lot.
I think he also leads the league in lane violations from the other team.
He would have got one tonight, but he made the free throw, so they didn't call it. But look at that. Bairstow, 12. 7 boards, 4 assists. Shulga, 11, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Ashworth, 19, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. Funk, 24, 8 rebounds and an assist. And Akin with 14, 2 rebounds, 3 assists. The Aggies assist tonight on 24 of their 32 baskets in this game and only commit 9. 24-9 is their turnover to the assist to turnover ratio.
You'll win every night if you do that.
Wow.
But you know what? An even bigger stat, in my opinion, is you go down the line and all those guys. Shulga, 1 turnover. Ashworth, no turnovers. Bairstow, 1 turnover. Funk, 1 turnover. This was a team that definitely, Boise ratcheted up their defense in the second half, and the Aggies handled it well. They handled the press well. Just good, great win.
Rias made 2 big long threes in the second half, but still only got 13. Abo had 18 and 13 for Shaver. He kind of took over towards the end, and then Degenhart with 12 as they went after Funk defensively. Whoever was trying, they posted him up and backed him in. Miller had 6, Whiting had 4, Smith had 5. Whiting missed the air ball 3 there at the end of the game that might have, or it was a jump shot from 3, a free throw line jumper. It wasn't a 3-pointer as I recall. Maybe it was a 3.
I think it was right at the top of the key.
I think it was tied at the top of the key and not at the free throw line. And off our bench, Dorius had the 4 points. RJ had 2, and Hamoda did not score. Those are first look at some of the numbers tonight. Let's look at some texts now.
Absolutely.
My Mattress brings you our postgame and Telebed, Tempur-Pedic. If you need a great bed, you find the best at My Mattress. Again, ranked number 1 for great sleep. What have we got tonight?
It's a little slick out there, so folks, don't text until you get home or if you got somebody else driving. But we've already got a few in here. First one from 5338. Ashworth's post-game comments after UNLV about Taylor Funk proved to be quite prophetic tonight.
Remember, he said he's going to come back. We rely on him. We'll count on him about all that, and it worked.
And boy, was he ever right. 6543. So the rubber meets the road now. The lingering question about the Aggies beating good teams on the road will be answered. New Mexico on Thursday night. No easy games from here on out. Great job. And again, that's making that assumption it's going to be New Mexico. After watching Colorado State, I would not be surprised. And you've got to worry about Wyoming.
Beat Nevada.
Yeah,
so.
And they're coming together. They've got a player that's an all Mountain West player in Maldonado.
One of the best in the league.
Without a doubt. And what you're seeing is all the other guys, after that, they had the great exodus of all the California kids. And Ike officially said, nope, I'm not playing this year. The other guys have
galvanized.
They've gotten back together and they filled the role. So
Odom had 28 the other night against Nevada.
Just to follow up on 6543's comment, they said, see how they play on the road. This is a neutral site game. How do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, for years everybody thought, Vegas has the advantage because they're playing there. They put in the Mountain West floor, but it's still their building. I don't think Las Vegas has ever been much of a factor in the tournament. It doesn't seem like in the years that we've been involved in the league.
And you know what? New Mexico can say the same thing. They're going on the road. They won't be sleeping in their own beds.
UNLV will play Air Force in the first round. I think the last time they played in the tournament, they played like 3 overtimes, as I remember. And I think Vegas eventually won the game. And then you'll have the matchup of Fresno, Colorado State. And Colorado State's beat them twice this year.
Yeah. Fresno, you don't know.
Winner of that one gets San Diego State. Winner of UNLV and Fresno will get Boise, and then the winner of the New Mexico and Wyoming.
I'm not going to make project. I am going to give one prediction. Air Force is going to beat UNLV opening round. I'm going to throw that one out there right now.
They today had a 20-point lead on San Jose and blew the lead, and San Jose won at the end. Amari Moore, I think, I voted for him on our media poll that we had, and then I just one vote of a bunch. I voted him Player of the Year. I think he's been the most consistent guy start to finish and helping his team more than anybody in the league.
And I think that's going to be the difference. San Jose has a player that can take over. Hartnett's a good ball player, but I think he fouled out
today, and they still won in overtime.
And so, but I just don't. Air Force is getting better and better. They play just a very simple, methodical game. So my money's on them.
Okay, I'd pick Vegas after winning against Reno.
All right,
today.
we got a soda on that one, Al. You and me. 45-70. Big question. Where was Big Blue? And you know, I didn't realize that until after.
And I have no idea.
That.
I just see whatever's on the streaming for the Mountain West Network.
So fans, if you and then
did they introduce cheerleaders and stuff usually the last game?
They did. I was a little disposed, Al. I drank a lot of water earlier in the day.
You weren't watching.
Rylan Jones wants to know what is he going to play again?
Well, he did not take. He is a senior.
Yes,
listed.
He is.
He could have had a senior night tonight. So you've got to think his intention, at least right now, is to take the offseason and play again. He's not taking it. Coach Odom before the game said, we're going to have a senior night for these guys like Dorius and Bairstow who could still come back next year if they want to, but we want to make sure they're honored. And RJ's honored for a second time, but Rylan opted not to do that.
And he was there. He was on the bench with the team, and so he's supportive.
I think his intent is to play.
I'm with you. I think that you have to take that, but he's done just, beat up a little too much. Got this from 9315. Oh, like 9315. They always have some good comments here. Leon will, and that'd be Leon Rice, their coach, will be irritated on the wine spectrum if he loses to us twice in 10 days. But I agree with this comment. The best defense I've seen all year in the first half. I said that earlier. I think the Aggies' best half was that first half.
We have played since the second half of the Nevada game. Well, and even the second half of the San Diego State game, we clamped down and got back in that game. The Nevada game, second half, didn't play well against San Jose. No. I don't feel like. And again, Moore was all by himself individually doing that to us in that game. But the second half of Wyoming, when they really needed to, they clamped down. They clamped down on Vegas when they had to. And now tonight, they gave Boise still Boise shoots 45%. But the Aggies don't lose if they outshoot the team. And the rebounds tonight were 29 all. That's a big deal because Boise really looked like they were going to pound us on the boards after the start of the game. I think at the first time out, we had a 7-1 rebound lead, and we had 10 rebounds at the 11-minute mark, and we only got 3 the rest of the first half to let them grab the rebound lead in the first
we
half.
need to get into that a little bit. Again, a rough end of the half. Aggie's got to figure out how to do that. But, when you're shooting as well as you are, Aggie shot 62% in the first half. When you shoot that well, you're not going to get many chances for offensive boards. But Boise did get big rebounds when they needed to, and they're in the second half, towards the end of the second half. Couple of shots. There's some
second chance points are 8 to 7 Aggies.
Well, there you go.
In the game, the Aggies' defense was enough to stop some of those second chance.
They had their chance, but they didn't get taken advantage of. So no, all in all, this is a good team, and I would not be surprised to see them again. But really, it comes down to the Aggies have to play well, and that's why I'm so high on Z Hamoda tonight. He came out and he played very, very good defense, which is what we need him. He's that long, athletic guy that's going to cause people problems, and he came in and he did a good job. But overall, just good performance.
Riverwoods Conference Center is one of our sponsors. Remember the Elements Restaurant. Their choices of pasta, steaks, chicken, seafood, wood-fired pizzas, all available down there. They have the meeting space available. Appreciate them as one of our game day sponsors here as we continue tonight dissecting the Aggies' 86-73 victory on KVNU Game Day postgame and Aggie call portion. Again, the number is 753 KVNU, 435-753-5868 if you want to join with us on the phone. But the text line is easily available too, and that's 435-339-0321. We continue on this winning Saturday night. The blue light is very blue because the Aggies have beaten Boise State. It's something over the last couple of years. We needed that. When it comes to home care, it's important to know you have a choice. If you or a loved one is in need of hospice or home health services, remember that Primrose Home Care and Hospice believes in treating the patient as well as the problem. We work directly with you and your doctor to create a health plan that's catered to your needs. Our team is devoted to providing options in the freedom and safety of your own home. Visit us at primrosecare.com or call to schedule a free consultation. Primrose Home Care and Hospice, your local hospice and home health provider since 2006.
Don't get caught without power to your home or business. This is Tyler with Golden Spike Electric. We offer Generac backup generators to keep your home or business warm, avoiding frozen pipes, loss of valuable food, or even a flooded basement. Golden Spike Electric is certified and factory trained, so you know it will be installed right and properly maintained. Contact Golden Spike Electric so you'll never be without power again. Online at gsegenerators.com. We also service other brands, Golden Spike Electric and Generac. Power you can count on.
Prodigy Brewing on Center Street is looking to hire motivated team members to join their talented executive chef, Dustin Kirby. This position in Prodigy Brewing's kitchen will help create an amazing dining experience for their brew pub customers. If you are experienced or are willing to learn in a fast-paced environment, visit Prodigy Brewing today, located at 25 West Center Street in Logan. Prodigy Brewing is proud to offer competitive pay, employee perks, a great environment, and more.
Girls, insist he take you to Jarek's. Picking out your wedding ring is an experience you will never forget. Come to a place where the mood is right and the setting is perfect for romance. Jarek's Fine Jewelry in Logan. The perfect collection of memorable designs, classic creation, and modern marvels. If you want an intimate, romantic experience you will never forget, then insist he takes you to Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's at 930 North Main in Logan.
Jarek's Fine Jewelry. Make it special, make it Jarek's.
KVNU Game Day continues with Aggie Call. More analysis about today's game and your chance to talk about it. Call 753-KVNU or 800-369-KVNU.
John urging again everybody who's leaving the Spectrum, drive carefully and give everybody a little extra room and all that stuff. After the snow during the game, for the most part, is what happened. I mean, it kind of started as we were doing game day pregame. It was snowing pretty good going up to the Spectrum, but again, there's quite a bit here at the Radio Ranch. You got a couple inches, I think, out of the light stuff, and it's getting packed down, and it's kind of slick, so be careful out there if you're driving. I know there might be some people leaving the valley and all, so you got us to take along with you. You can just join in with us. You can text. Again, like we said, pull over if you want to text. That's what you're supposed to do.
Or hand your phone to whoever's riding with you.
Or tell, you just press the button and then quickly put it in there real fast. I guess you can do it vocally on some phones as well to get through to the text line 339-0321, or the phone number is 753-5868. Again, the Aggies beat Boise State tonight, 86-73. So overall records right now, San Diego State will be looking for their 24th win tonight as they're playing Wyoming. Remember, the reason this game was not on TV is because they looked at the last games of the regular season and they looked at Wyoming at San Diego State at San Diego. That was 1 and 2 preseason. Yeah. They thought that would be the big game rather than Boise State against the Aggies. This should have been the game that should have been on national TV.
Yeah, my son Noah, when I left, he's like, "So what's the game going to be on?" I said, "It's Mountain West Conference." Mm-hmm. What? That's crazy. And the San Diego State game right now, just score update, it's 38-25 with about 15 and a half left, San Diego State leading.
You would think on senior night and the way they lost to Boise earlier this week, they'd come back. They usually do rebound. So they'll be probably 15-3 and 24-6, and the Aggies will be 24-7 on the season. And then you've got Boise State's now 23-8, Nevada's 22-9, and New Mexico's now 21-10 after they started being the longest undefeated in college basketball. New Mexico goes 8-10 in conference play. They lost to a lot of teams. They beat San Diego State, they beat Boise State, they beat Nevada. But they lost to a lot of teams that were down in the standings.
And they finished poorly. And this is where, we talk about, who's going to get, and we still have a tournament to play, so let's not forget that. But who's going to, possibly get an invite to the dance. And New Mexico started off well, but they've not finished well. And I realize they can take into considerations, these games that they've won, the quad 1, quad 2, all that. But you have to look at how teams finish. And New Mexico, you've got a low losing record in the Mountain West.
And they were outside the top 50 today in the net ranking, so I don't think they're going to have a chance.
I don't know. I think
they have to win the tournament, obviously. They'd have to come through us, through the bracket, to have that done.
So I think right now the teams that should be in from the Mountain West, and a lot of talk, there was even talk of 5 teams, but right now I think you would have to look at San Diego State, Boise State, and Utah State.
Mm-hmm. Those would be the 3, I would think, for sure at this point. But again, we thought, like we said, when the Aggies went to the semifinals and only had 3 losses the one year, and they didn't even get in to the NCAA tournament, but that was, again, in the Big West. Where it happened. So just quickly recapping for anybody who did not watch on the streaming and was not in the Spectrum, it started off, it was the Aggies scored first. They led 4-0 before Boise scored. And then it was finally, it was a 6-6 game. And then Boise got a drive and a 3-point play to make it 9-8. That was their only lead of the game. Aggies took it back on a funk rebound. A 9-0 run gave Utah State a 17-9 lead. Eventually, it went to 20-11 after an Ashworth 3-pointer. And then it went back to 22-18, 25-20, and then Utah State went on an 8-0 run, took it out to, 33-20, and then it was 37-23, and then it was 40-25. And the biggest halftime lead, though, was first half, was RJ's lay-in made it 47-27, about a minute and a half to go, and then Boise did score the last 6 of the first half to make it a 12-point game, or 14-point game. And then, again, it was a 60-44 game on a 13-11 start between the two teams, so the Aggies still had a big lead. And Boise did bring it back a couple times inside double figures in the last 5 minutes of the game. They had it to 6 points, 77-76 with 2 minutes to go, and Utah State finished with a run of 9-2 to finish the game and win by 86-73.
Good win, and really the score will not indicate how close that game was. The Aggies started off strong, but really from the entire second half, it was a battle back and forth.
There was people you're on the edge of the seat with this game because you know who you're playing, and Boise has guys who can go off in Rice and Shaver and things, and Shaver started to show a little bit. Yeah. He hasn't had a great year like he did last year, but he started to show that. But hey, the Aggies as a team got this thing done tonight, and again, big kudos though to Funk to come out of his shooting funk and make the threes like he did tonight.
I like your comment. It was it was a good team win. That was the key. I think one of the most important things for the Aggies tonight is just the fact that they took the ball inside, and we've talked about it all night now.
Points in the paint was huge.
It was huge. Funk's first 2 baskets are in the paint. He did a good job. Ashworth took 7 2-point shots, and I'd be willing to bet that's probably a season high for him.
He made 6 of 13 shots, 3 of 6 from 3. Yeah. And again, with his 39 minutes, 19 points. So he's been averaging right around 20 these last 5 games for the Aggies, or 4 games for the Aggies, and that's big. The points in the paint tonight was 46-28, Utah State.
And you wouldn't think that'd be the case against Boise. Boise's a very, very strong team. They like to go inside. Degenhardt, I'm sorry, folks. I have to admit this. Big fan of him. The guy knows how to play. He doesn't force things. But the Aggies did a good job.
They probably should have gone to him more than they even did.
Agree.
They probably should have even gone to him more than they did. He missed 3 threes in the game. And the other big stat that jumps off the page to me is the Aggies again. 12-2 fast break points, getting down the floor and getting an opportunity. Hey, Ashworth had 4 steals in the first half. I don't know what he ended up with at the game. Let me look at the final team. They don't have it on this one sheet. He just got 4 for the game, so he didn't get any in the second half.
So none in the second half. But, people feel their – the thing I love about Stephen Ashworth is that, like you said, he's averaging about 20 in the last several games. But you don't always realize that he's got that many points. He hits big buckets, and you'll need a 3 or you'll need a penetration and a dish, and he'll be the guy distributing. But all of a sudden you'll look at the stat sheet and you'll go, "Wow, he's got 16." He doesn't really have those big runs that you're used to.
Except
But
the
he
8-0 against Vegas the other night.
That was a big one.
That one was a big one to really turn that game around.
But he makes big shots when the Aggies need him.
He is now being more assertive getting his shots or finding his places on the thing. We do have Taylor Funk now from the Spectrum, brought to you by Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning. Remember, it's a 752-7272. If you've shivered this winter season, you need a brand new system in your business or in your home. Let Advanced Heating and Air Conditioning know that. They also tune up and check your system, make sure it's right. 752-7272. I believe this is Taylor Funk from the Spectrum. It looks like they're about ready to start. Here we go.
Okay, questions for Taylor.
Well, obviously, senior night was never everything. Lots of emotions from, it seemed like from the get-go you were hitting shots.
Yeah, no, it's been definitely a senior night to remember. Unfortunately, last year, I had a senior night at St. Joe's, and I re-tore a ligament in my thumb, so I had to miss that. So it was really cool to actually get to play on the senior night tonight. And yeah, we're kind of doing our thing out there tonight. Shots going down for us all, and I mean, this team we found something real special these last couple games on the defensive end, and that's kind of where it all started, and it carried on over to the offense like it normally does.
What was the biggest difference from January 7th when you played at Boise to tonight? Maybe that defense, because it seemed like you guys were a different team.
Yeah, no, I think we just improved a lot, since then. They're a really, really, really good team, well coached, great players, and I'll say it again, man. Our defense really kicked it up, and that's why we won tonight. You win games on the defensive end, and we're just fortunate to have a really, really good offense. And when defense is going and offense is going, it's kind of hard to stop.
Hot or cold through the season, you've usually placed a lot of trust in your shot. In the second half, Utah State was 1 of 8 from the arc until you hit that one that pretty much won the game. Mm-hmm. Talk about the confidence you had in making that shot even when things were going well.
Yeah, confidence is key, You're a different player when you play confidence, and that's all this coaching staff gives you. They encourage you every single day. They never get on you for missing shots, especially when they're the great shots. Open man's best shot's open shot, and we kind of live by that, and we have really good shooters, and it could have been anyone. The guy went under the screen, and I think any of our guards could have shot that shot. It just so happened to be me.
So kind of going into that shot, did you know you were going to shoot it, once Dan was handing it off to you? When did you kind of make that decision?
Yeah, so the play kind of broke down. And me and Dan, honestly, we made eye contact, and he gave me a little head nod, all right, come behind, I'll pitch it back to you. And I think it was Dagenhart. I can't really remember who was guarding me. Just again, one under, and that's the shot we work on a lot. And credit to Dan for reading that defense.
Taylor, is it fair to say that your role on this team has expanded as the years progress in terms of you're not just out here pulling up from three, you're getting offensive rebounds and really lifting the defensive effort? Is that a fair assessment?
I think it's just reading the game more than the team and the coaches putting a bigger role onto my part. I had a meeting with Coach yesterday, and we were just kind of watching some clips, and teams are on me, man. I mean, they weren't guarding me how they are now like they were in the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, I was kind of a new face. They knew I could shoot, but they gave me space, and I got a lot of kick out one more is wide open threes, and I'm not really getting those anymore. And you got to be a complete basketball player in this conference, or you're going to get eaten alive. So yeah, I got going early on the offensive rebounds, and just built a little confidence and carried on.
What do you think that this performance should say to the tournament selection committee?
Make us go dancing, man. I mean, this team deserves it. We really do. We definitely have a couple bad losses, but it's college basketball, man. Anyone can be anyone on any given night. We're ready, And, we can't worry about that, though. That's the thing. We got a big game coming up in the tournament. Not exactly sure who we have, but, we need to prepare for that game because that's the next biggest game before we can even talk about that.
Do you feel like the momentum, like you said, the last little while, it seems like things are clicking, 5 in a row now. Mm-hmm. This is the time you really want to be playing how you guys are playing.
Exactly. This team, all credit to this team and the coaching staff. We learn from losses, man. We really learn from losses, and that San Diego State, San Jose game, that was the only time all season we lost back-to-back games, and they hurt for sure. They really hurt, but man, did this team learn from it, and I think it shows. how we're playing right now.
And again, playing great, and that's the player of the game in a lot of ways for sure on his senior night. Again, Taylor Funk really coming back again from, not scoring as much lately. He only had one double-figure game, and I think in his last 5. He had 24 tonight on 9 of 12 shooting, 4 out of 6 from 3, plus the 8 rebounds. We saw that early in the year. He's still been the second best rebounder on the team all year long. So, again, behind, I think, Dan.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks just kind of forgot that he wasn't just a scorer, that he could rebound and that he helped on that end. But I'll tell you what, you could almost, the Spectrums exploded when he made that first three-pointer because everybody's wanted the thing to go in. But, he made a good point. Coming out of the early part of the season, everybody knew Stephen Ashworth, Taylor Funk. You got to watch those two. They can light it up. And that's where I think the team has gotten better is other guys recognizing their roles. We're going to talk about Funk. We're going to talk about Ashworth and the great game they had. But look at the way Bairstow and Sugar filled the stat sheets.
Look at the way they've been filling the stat sheets, too.
Exactly.
Bairstow's been rebounding great the last little while and things like that. Plus, like I said to him, defensive assignments. Look at the guys he's having to cover, and tonight he probably had Dagenhart at times. He probably had Abo. Abo only had 3 points, I think, in the whole second half after he had the big first half.
And that's the advantage of having guys like those two, and RJ being better and healthier and being able to come in and be a little more physical on guards. That makes a big difference. But, how many times tonight the Aggies did a great job fighting through picks, through screens. Sometimes they'd try and fight over it. Sometimes they were coming under, depending on who they were guarding. But what was nice is when you've got Bairstow and Shoga, they don't have to worry about that. They can just switch off, and you're going to get just as good a coverage on either one.
Just got a note here. The Highway Patrol now says that in the canyon, in Wellsville Starting Canyon, you have to have four-wheel drive or snow tires or chains. You should not attempt to drive through the canyon. If you do not, if you cause a problem in that situation, there may be some violations. They're telling you no. If you don't have four-wheel drive, snow tires, or chains, do not go through Wellsville Canyon. Use Valley View Highway as an alternative, and I'm sure that's not exactly great either. Just got to drive carefully, safe, and slow. And again, if you're not equipped, again, don't go that direction. But the Aggies were equipped tonight. They took care of Boise State, and that's a big win. We saw it down there at the end of the season. Didn't want to say too much about it as we headed towards it. We knew that could be a big one at the end, and it was tonight. And the Aggies take it out in a sold-out Spectrum in a great way. I think people enjoyed it all. I think you went to a great game tonight, watched it from start to finish. It was terrific basketball. It really was. Boise's a good team, and they won't be easy if the Aggies do get them next Friday. But they got to get through Thursday first, and they got to wait till Wednesday to find out who they play until they will play on Thursday night in that late game. So, again, the Aggies win, though, tonight, and we've just warned you about the weather. Hey, White Pine Funeral Services was one of our sponsors. We appreciate them. Again, many years of experience in caring for people from all walks of life with compassionate care, high integrity, and excellence from White Pine Funeral Services, whitepinefunerals.com. Aggies win. Game day continues. We need your calls at 753-KVNU, or you can text us at 435-339-0321, and we'll get the coach probably from the Spectrum here shortly after this timeout on game day.
It's never too late or too cold to get rid of that old vehicle. Now is the time to earn extra cash by calling DD Auto and Salvage. Let them pay you for that junk vehicle. DD Auto and Salvage makes it so easy and fast to get rid of your junker vehicles by paying you the most money possible. Pickup is available. If you have metal, DD Auto and Salvage in Logan wants to pay you today. Call 787-1204. That's 787-1204 today. See store for details.
Daryl's Appliance is the only place in Cache Valley where you can apply your service trip fee to a new appliance if you decide you want a new one instead. This is Jay from Daryl's Appliance. You don't have to gamble. That's because you have everything under one roof, service and sales. You always get the best appliance repair team in northern Utah. But if you decide to buy new instead, apply the repair fee to your new appliance. See store for details. Only at Daryl's Appliance, west on Airport Road.
Spend less time at the post office. With Formax and Mint mailing systems from Les Olson IT, you can quickly, accurately, and easily process your outgoing mail and even save on postage. Fold your documents, stuff and seal your envelopes, print addresses, weigh and measure to apply proper postage, all with the click of a button. With multiple model options available, you're sure to find a Formax solution and Mint mailing device that perfectly fits your business needs.
Les Olson IT.
Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat is locally owned and operated inside the beautiful new Three Peaks Medical Plaza in North Logan. Expect the most cutting-edge techniques, qualified doctors, and friendly staff to ensure the highest quality patient care. The ENT providers have extensive training to properly treat ear, nose, and throat conditions for adults and children. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat serves all of northern Utah and southern Idaho, accepting most insurance products including SelectMed. Go to CacheValleyENT.com for appointments and details. Cache Valley Ear, Nose, and Throat, located in North Logan and Providence.
The Aggies are always number one here. It's KVNU Game Day with Al Lewis and John Russell.
BYU leading their game 47-41 against Loyola, a team, of course, that Utah State beat earlier in the season after they were down in a big way in the first half and fought back and won that game in Las Vegas. They're playing over at the Orleans Arena in the WCC tournament, and then they'll go to Monday night, I guess it is, for their next game.
Is this semi or quarters?
This is quarters.
Quarters, okay.
And
so
then they move St. Mary's and Gonzaga get automatically into the semifinals.
That's right. And that's a weird bracket. They really let those two teams. They almost position it so that they're almost
the
guaranteed
West Coast.
to win.
What they are trying to do, to be honest, is at one time they were fortunate to get one bid. They wanted to make sure they're guaranteeing their team to get that far in the tournament with the one bid. That maybe they might get two if somebody was really good and lost at that point, rather than early in the tournament in some kind of upset.
I think you have to look at both Gonzaga and St. Mary's. They should be.
They're in for
they
sure.
Should be for
and
sure.
there won't probably be another team from the conference that'll get in there.
And no one.
But they've had a
deserves it,
decent year in that league, and we beat some of those teams and all that. The Aggies beat the team that won the regular season. They're playing for the Missouri Valley Championship tomorrow, Bradley.
Mm-hmm.
They won the regular season. Aggies also beat Oral Roberts, the team that won the Summit League regular season. And then they beat one other team, Utah Valley, who won the regular season of the West Coast, the Old WAC.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I think a lot of people will focus on the bad losses. The Aggies had 2 bad losses. Well, that happens. That's why you play the game, and they've gotten better as the season has worn on. So I have a hard time with that. Hey, real quick update: San Diego State now up by 19. They're leading 52-33, about 9.5. So they're running away with it.
Anything else, text line? 435-339-0321.
So a couple other scores before I go to the text line. Utah struggling a little bit. They lost to Colorado. Only shot 33% from the field today.
Raleigh had 15, I noticed.
15,
Raleigh Worcester today.
But they lost 69-60. And real, couple of big games there in the Mountain West. You've gone over them, but UNLV does get the win in Reno. So they win 69-67. And San Jose State comes back after they were down. They were down by 20. San Jose was down by 20 to Air Force.
They were down by 20 points.
But the more I watch Amari Moore, that guy can play. I think he is your Mountain West player of the year
today. I think it was in the game, and he scored a basket and 2 free throws that kind of won the game in the last minute.
But he's a guy that can really take over a game.
And Jarek's Fine Jewelry is one of our sponsors, and Make It Special, Make It Jarek's. We do have James join with us on the telephone. It's nice enough for James to call us. What's up tonight, James?
Oh, guys, just got back in the car, and what a night, huh? Just a great night for the seniors, great night for the fans. I don't know. We just got in the car, so I haven't had a chance to listen to all your comments, which I missed. But what a special night afterwards, recognizing all the seniors, the coach did, and letting the seniors talk. You couldn't tap off a better win and a better night for Aggie basketball tonight. It was good.
I'm glad you let us know that, because John leaves just a little early to get down here. We don't get a chance to see what's going on. So tell us what they had to say.
It was great. Coach got up like he has before and really thanked the fans for coming out and supporting. Talked about how they could be anywhere else with spring break, right? And what we have, I think we had 9,900 fans there tonight. It was just absolutely wonderful. And then he he went through each of the seniors, talked about each of them, and then he gave the seniors an opportunity to talk to the fans. I just thought it was a really special night tonight for Aggie basketball. You can't end the season on a better high than we had tonight.
You know, I'm so glad he did that because they did recognize him
before the game.
But to be honest, it was kind of rushed a little bit. It was kind of like, here you go. They gave them their jersey. So to have them do that just shows what a class guy Coach Odom is.
I think that's good. And again, you might as well stay in the Spectrum rather than trying to hurry your car because as slick as it is and snowy as it is, you're not going to go very far for a while anyhow.
I'm driving home now, and it is miserable. So if you guys are somewhere safe, enjoy that. Just a comment, and you guys may have mentioned this before, but when the Aggies play defense, we are just an unstoppable team. I mean, the 20 points came from shooting, right? But the reason we got all those points, I believe, honestly, is defense. When we play tough defense, we are a tough team to beat.
Well, we've got the offense for sure. We're going to eventually score. And the point is, if you can stop people, and again, individual type performers have been the toughest thing we've had with defense this year. But again, they're getting better, getting help on the sides. Tonight, they decided not to double a whole lot on Degenhart and the other guys, and we still kind of went through that because again, one guy. Again, unless it was more against San Jose State, was the one who really made us pay. That one guy going inside. So drive safe, James. Appreciate you telling us all that.
You guys.
Okay?
Hey, real quick question since I missed it. Are we now
number 3
into the tournament as the number 3?
Number 3. We will play the 6th, 11th winner. We'll play Thursday night. It'll be the latest game. I think they let the number 1 seed plays the early game on the first day. And then they play, and then the 4th seed would have to play 4 or 5 will play the second game because they'd be in the same bracket. And then they let the 2 seed start off the evening, and then the 3 seed has to play the late game. So it'll be the latest game. Let's see, that would be 8:30 Vegas time. Probably start 9:30 our time. All the games will be on CBS Sports Network.
Okay. So now, if we win one game, and with Nevada getting beat by UNLV, I mean, what are our chances of getting in NCAA? They're pretty good, aren't they?
Well, I would have to think for sure, yeah. I would have to think. That's my guess, but I'm not on the committee.
Yeah.
So. Thanks, James.
Guys. Love you guys.
Lisa's been nice enough to wait tonight. Lisa, go ahead on Aggie Call postgame after the Aggies win.
I'm always happy to wait to talk to you guys. That was an amazing game in the Spectrum. So much fun. I'm glad that they could get that win for the seniors. I was most impressed with the defense in the first half. I feel like that was the best defense we played all season.
That's what John said.
It was just a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah.
Well, it was,
And noticing that our assists.
Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, our assists are terrific. I mean, this team passing the basketball, I don't know if I've ever seen an Aggie team any better than this team passing the basketball.
Sure. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I hope that momentum takes us into the tournament, and I think it's going to be a good one for us.
I want to throw in there, Lisa, your thoughts on the crowd. Great defense, and I mentioned that earlier. I thought that was the best half we've played all year, both sides of the ball. But the way the crowd
100%.
was into it, yeah. The crowd, your take on that?
I mean, personally, I was in Section S right in front of the Boise fans, so I was rowdy the entire game. I was kind of giving it right back to them, so I thought it was a blast. And it was just some fun, but yeah, it was a great crowd. I was impressed with the 9,900, biggest crowd of the
season. Yep, one of the better ones we've had in the last little while.
Absolutely. So, I mean, just so much fun. I just love the Spectrum. I love this team, and I'm sad to see this home season end.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Lisa, anything else you want to say?
Nope.
But we love you joining with us. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yep, talk to you next time.
Anytime, Lisa. We love the phone call, 753-5868, 753-KVNU, or the text line, 339-0321. Again, starting Canyon, you have to have four-wheel drive or snow tires are changed. You should not even attempt to go. If you don't cause a problem up there if you do not, because it's real bad. Valley View Highway is your alternative, and, of course, that's slick as well. You got to drive very slowly. Yeah. That's the reminder out there.
The thing I wanted to touch on, and I'm glad Lisa said that. She was sitting behind the Boise fans. I love the rivalry that's developing. There were a lot of folks, and I want to thank the folks from Boise that came down. It's a lot easier because we won, but thanks for coming down.
You know, they really started to follow this team. There for years. Yeah. Leon Rice has had 10 of 13 years as a coach with 20 wins. And only the last couple of years has it seemed like they've really started to show up for the games and start to have sellouts up there, and they should.
Yeah,
I mean, they've got terrific fans up there.
They've got a good program, and it was good to see them here, and it made it fun. You really enjoy that rivalry and the competition. Football, we're getting to the point where the games are a lot better, but basketball, Boise fans, all due respect, we own basketball, so don't even think about it.
Well, the thing is, they had won 4 of the last 6 times they've been in the Spectrum.
That's because we let them.
And Boise had won 5 in a row in the series, so the Aggies stopped that. At one time, though, remember, it was 18-0 in the Spectrum for the Aggies over them. And how about the stat I pointed out at the start of the game? The last game Tim Duryea coached as an Aggie coach that he won, he beat Boise State. Now he's been there 5 years as an assistant, and I know his family, I guess his daughter and his wife are in town. I really appreciate those people down through the years. They're as nice of people as I've ever met. And I know Tim does a heck of a job wherever he goes, and I'm sure Boise State appreciates that. I'm sure he kept calling the isolation play to get Degenhart or somebody against Funk, trying to get him in. Funk got 4 fouls on the night, but not enough to stop him from 24 points.
Nope, not tonight. And it was a good basketball game. I'm glad it turned out the way it should, but that was a very well played basketball game. And if you were a fan of the game, you enjoyed it, but if you're an Aggie fan, even better night.
Okay, it looks like we're getting Coach Odom here, so let's go to that from the Spectrum, and we can listen in. And then one more opportunity after that for you to call in after the coach. You can use the 753-KVNU, or you can use the text line, 435-339-0321. People do have a choice, and you can choose Primrose, concierge healthcare service in the comfort of your own home, locally owned since 2006, and they bring you Coach Odom postgame from the Spectrum.
Put it on this little tassel right here. There we go. All right. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Really proud of our guys. Obviously, a lot of pressure, for both teams in this game. I'm sure, Boise obviously coming off a huge win, at home against what we know is a great San Diego State team. And have to turn around and come up here to Logan and play. And, obviously we played UNLV, and that was a great win for us. And then coming home to finish it out on senior night. Senior nights are really hard. They're really hard. I've sat in that chair, in that locker, as a senior player, and that it's your last game. And I know for some of them, they can actually play one more year, but that's, few and far between and down the road. But, it's very emotional. It's really hard. And then when you add that on top of, and you see your mom and your dad or whoever, your loved ones walking out there before the game, it just sets a tone for it's in your thoughts, right? And so we tried to diffuse that a little bit in the pregame talk with the guys. One of the things that I told them was, you guys, no matter what happens from here on out, you 5 seniors, have left the jersey, the Aggie jersey, in a better place by you, than you found it. And, I think, I'm looking out and Sean's got tears in his eyes and I'm like, oh boy, I probably shouldn't have said this. But I think it ended fine. I asked everybody to take a deep breath. Everybody did that. And I said, now, how do you feel right now? Is your heart beating pretty fast? You got a little bit of nerves, ready for this? And they all, of course, nodded their heads. And I said, that's good, all right, because that means you care. If you didn't care about this, then you wouldn't be feeling any kind of way. You would just be walking out there playing. And, to acknowledge it and then be able to kind of deal with it, was a really important thing. And I gave them one story, to kind of highlight, a player that I coached. I was fortunate enough to coach at Virginia Tech. And he had his senior night. We're playing North Carolina. We had just beaten Duke at home. And Carolina's coming to town. It's his senior night. He's out there with his grandma and his mom and parents, and packed. All right, Castle Coliseum packed, just like the Spectrum. And in addition to it being senior night and him being honored, he he scored his 1,000th point in the game previously, so they handed him a ball, and obviously it said 1,000 points on it and all that. And so the AD hands it to him. Coach Greenberg's out there, the guy that's on game day now, and he grabs the ball. And what do you think he did with the ball? Shoot it? He threw it to the top of the stands. And it was just all about, the way I interpreted it and the way our team and our crowd interpreted that. He wasn't worried 1 second about that 1,000th point. Right? He wanted to beat that team that was right on the other bench, and it was all about that. And so I encourage the guys, when you're out there on senior night and you're out there with your parents, I want you to think about that guy throwing the ball to the stands, because that's what it's all. Don't get distracted, all right, by what's happening right now. All right, and we want to honor you, and we have, and we will. All right, but at the same time, you've got a job to do. And I think our guys responded immediately at the beginning of the game, and against a really good Boise team. I mean, they're an excellent program, extremely well coached, and they really challenge you. They've got the 10th ranked defense in the country. Like it's really hard to score on them. All right, and it's really hard to keep them from scoring. They've got, interchangeable parts, throughout their roster, and they've had a great season. And I think, in this particular game, the way that our guys played, we got off to a good start. We played really hard, and I'm happy to take any questions relative to the game. I don't want to keep talking here, but excited about the win. Now we'll put it to bed and move on and get ready for the conference tournament.
24 assists on 32 makes here against a defense that does not give up many assists. How are you able to sort of move them around and get that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the transition certainly starts with that. We were able to, the defense, we were able to get some stops, and then we get out in transition and we're able to get some kick ahead threes or buckets, pass ahead. We got a couple of layups. I mean, transition, offense was very good, and that was the key to the game. Like which team could, because they're really good at it. Like they're excellent. That's one of the reasons they beat us up there. We'd miss a shot, and then all of a sudden they're throwing it ahead, shooting a three or getting a layup, and it was a problem. And so our guys understood they have to get back. We've got to get back, and we got to set our defense, and it's going to take a lot of effort, in order to stop them or at least make them go to something else. And I thought our guys did a nice job there.
Taylor got going early with those putbacks.
Yep.
And then just that big three at the end of the game.
Huge three.
What did he mean to you guys tonight?
Yeah, Taylor was awesome. It was great. He and I chatted yesterday after practice, and it was a great talk. And obviously he has been shooting it like he's capable of shooting it, like we've all seen. And it's just about relaxing. When shooters just expect the next one to go, and everybody in the gym and certainly on his team, expects him to make shots, and he knows that. There's pressure with that. The key is taking the right ones, right? Taking the right ones, and he certainly did that tonight. And you see that first one go in. All right, then the next one probably has a better chance. And he got started, like you mentioned, by going to the offensive glass. All right, and he's done that in this stretch where he hasn't shot it as well. He's found other ways to help the team win games. We won 4 in a row with him not shooting it at his best. And so, that's a positive sign for us.
That's the biggest difference from when you played Boise State the first time. You guys were playing well, then all of a sudden you ran into them.
I think we were definitely playing well at that point, but I mean they were ready for us. I mean that was a big game for them, just like this was a big game for us, and you have to give them all the credit. Like the physicality in that game caught us off guard. We hadn't played a team that was that physical and tough and determined and coming at us, and they were making shots. They were 11 for 19 from 3, and we didn't do a good job of rebounding the ball. Right? We didn't do a good job of getting high hands on their shooters. And when you're playing with fire when you do that. And so, we didn't really worry. We showed the guys some film of that game, but we didn't really worry much about that result. It was more about, okay, let's focus on how we're playing right now and how are they playing right now and what's the best way for us to try to beat them. And the guys locked into it, and they didn't have any fear. Of a repeat of that.
Well, Taylor hits the huge 3 go by 9, but it felt like the next possession was just as key.
Yeah.
Boise on you guys on defense because you got the stop there. And
score stop at the end of the game. That's what it's all about. I mean, that play reminded me a lot of Brock's shot against Oklahoma last year. Boise kind of stopped, the offense and the play that we were running, and then Dan and Taylor just made a play on the other side, like Bean and Brock did. And the guy goes under, and he had enough room to get rid of it. And Brock's was a huge shot, and so was this one.
Coach, piggybacking off of Sean's question, how has the team improved physically and improved defensively to be able to beat a team that beat y'all by 30? Being by double digits at home.
Yeah, I think basically, it's never thinking less of yourself, right? Like, we've won some games too, and so going into this game, like, being confident and an understanding of why we lost the game. It wasn't just the physicality; it was we lost our composure. And there were moments within the game where you'd see it, you go, "Oh, now that's good defense by us." There you go. And so you kind of highlight some of those things where we did it, but we didn't do it consistently enough. And certainly on somebody else's home court, if you don't do that, you have a chance of getting blown out like we did. And they did a really good job that night. So you got to give them all the credit.
That was the coach after the game up in the Spectrum with the media, and again, comes right out and immediately got some stories from his old day. Isn't it amazing how he can, just in coaches' minds, he immediately thinks back to the Oklahoma game last year where, that Bean hits Brock with kind of the eye contact like tonight. Taylor said that he and Dan got involved in that whole thing. It's amazing. They see so many plays and there's so many games, but they've got the vision of how they just can remember every single play almost in a game. They can go back and almost recap the game better than I can, haven't written it down,
I think a lot of it, maybe just simply the fact is it's easy to write up a play. But when you see your players go out and do something like that, where it wasn't scripted, it wasn't written up, it was just the players. And I think as a coach, you'd have to sit back and go, all those days on the court, yelling at them, thinking I wasn't getting through, they figured it out.
The other thing there is, as you're talking about it when they're talking about that, our inbounds plays, again, continue to be pretty impressive out of timeouts and all that. We just got to find something at the end of the first half that works.
And I kind of held my breath, and there at the end of the first half, I'm like, just hang on, guys, just get in the locker room.
Make the last shot.
Yeah,
No, it didn't happen. But okay, again, the highway patrols let us know heavy snow in the canyons. Again, four-wheel drive or snow tires or chains. Don't attempt to go if you don't have those. Use the Valley Highway as an alternate, and again, that's slick as well. We'll continue with more Game Day. We'll give you one last chance to call in, 753-KVNU. We also, of course, have our text line available, 339-0321. We'll have that next after the Aggies' 86-73 win over Boise State.
Covering all the news. Stay with 610 AM and 102.1 FM. Breaking news and stimulating talk. News Talk, KVNU Logan.
You've been putting up with a dirty, dusty wood stove for years. Why haven't you changed it? Go to Advanced Fireplace and Stove in Logan. Look through their showroom for ideas on Quadra-Fire pellet and wood stoves and Heat and Glow gas fireplaces. They have several demos in place so you can see firsthand how your project will look. And you can trust the pros at Advanced Fireplace and Stove. They'll do the job right. Advanced Fireplace and Stove, 752-7272. Online at advancedfireplaceandstove.com.
You recognize that song. I'm talking to you, class of 1976. Hi, this is Rusty Allen with LSS Insurance, and turning 65 means it's time to talk Medicare. LSS is here to help. Call 752-9493 for help with Medicare. As your local agent, we will research benefits, costs, and look up prescriptions so there aren't any surprises at the pharmacy. Call LSS at 752-9493.
This year, celebrate your anniversary with diamond jewelry from S.E. Needham Jewelers. Adorned in diamonds, she will feel elegant and cherished. Choose from a large selection of diamond bands, diamond pendants, and diamond earrings. Also, you'll enjoy a beautiful selection of diamonds mounted in rose gold. We price our diamond jewelry with an integrity price guarantee so that you can be assured the best possible value. With 12 months interest-free financing available. For the people and occasions that matter most. S.E. Needham Jewelers, middle of the block, at the sign of the clock.
Elements has delicious lunch specials, 2 for $30, or the new soup, salad, and bread special for just $10. It's tasty and quick. Elements' lunch menu is full of scrumptious items prepared with a personal touch. Wood-fired pizzas are an excellent choice that include barbecue chicken and the bee's knees. The fresh battered halibut fish and chips with seasoned fries is always a hit. And don't forget the fan-favorite Munster Burger. Casual or professional. Open Monday through Thursday, 11:30 to 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11:30 to 9 p.m. Visit theelementsrestaurant.com for reservations today.
Aggie Game Day continues. Sponsored by Les Olson Company on News Talk KVNU.
Again, watch your driving. If you're trying to go the canyons, you have to have snow tires, four-wheel drive, or change. You should not go if you do not. That's what the Highway Patrol says. Don't cause any problems up there if you don't have that. Again, Valley View Highway, the alternative route to get out of the valley towards Salt Lake or Brigham or wherever. Again, Logan Canyon probably not very good either, is what they're saying at this point. Is we've had some pretty good snow tonight, although John said it was kind of letting up when he came in. It was supposed to snow till about midnight, 1 o'clock, maybe then kind of stop tonight. And they thought it was continuing into Sunday, but the last I saw on some of the weather charts, they indicated it might stop after tonight. But we've had enough this winter.
I'm not complaining if it stops.
I mean, we need the moisture, obviously, but let's hope we can contain all that we have and keep it for a year or two around here. Aggies 86-73 with the final score. Appreciate Daryl's Appliance, one of our good sponsors. They're on Airport Road in Benson. Hey, you don't have to go to the big box store for the appliances. You can go to Daryl's Appliance to get the name brands you need at the prices you want to pay. 752-9022 if you want to call them Monday. Okay, what else have we got text-wise?
So great question here from 9836. Interesting. Both teams had father-son combinations tonight. I'm wondering who else does.
There are 20 of them in the country.
Are there? Okay.
20 coaches that coach their son. And three? I think 3 have 2 sons. And, of course, he has Cade and Max on the Boise team. Cade doesn't play much. Of course, Max is maybe the most improved player in the whole league and really a tough guy to have on your team. It's the kind of guy, if you're opposition, you can't stand him. But if he's on your team, you love him. And you have to admire him. I mean, he really has improved his game. Hey, and I've got a segment with Coach coming up on one of these games coming up here postseason where he'll talk about Connor Odom getting this National Courage Award at the Final Four for his reaching out to others in his way to help anxiety, OCD. He went through Lyme disease. I don't know if it kicked it off or whatever, but he struggled, and he still is struggling, and he'll talk about that. Yeah. The coach is very proud of him, but you'll enjoy that segment, Aggie fans, and that'll be coming up on one of our postseasons here. His son, of course, a walk-on to our team.
Yeah. So about 20, though, father-son combinations right now.
20 of them
so
in the country.
That's more than I thought. So 58-79, like that Coach Odom stayed after the game and allowed the seniors to thank the fans. Just a class act guy.
I hope a lot of people did stay in the stands. 9,963 is what they did announce as the attendance tonight.
That's a great number. I think he loves it up here. I think he really does. And to be honest, I think you've got other guys that have been here. I think Craig Smith misses the Spectrum.
He would miss the atmosphere of it all. He doesn't miss the paycheck.
Yeah, the paycheck helps a little bit, but this comes from, I don't have a number here, with better overall record than Boise. Why aren't we the number 2 seed?
Because they beat San Diego State and we did not. And after you go head-to-head, doesn't matter what the point differential is head-to-head. If you split, they go to the top of the conference standings and how you did against the first-place team and down, and Boise State did beat San Diego State. We did not.
So we split, goes to the next thing, and that was San Diego State.
And even if we would have had, if say, for instance, Nevada would have won today, would have had a 3-way tie for that spot, and we would have still been 4th there because Nevada also beat San Diego State, and we split with them.
I just look at it. We got to go through who we got to go through, and that's the way you do it. This came from 5464. Great win, amazing first half. The second half felt like playing not to lose and settling for shots instead of keeping up the intensity the last 3 minutes.
I doubt. I would not go with that. To some extent, you're maybe trying to do that some. And like I've said before, a 20-point first half lead never becomes 20 in the second half. But the thing was here is I still felt some aggression from our offense. That Bairstow drive in the key when we needed a basket, and he made that hook shot. That's not holding back or anything like that. He saw a play opportunity to be made, and he went and made it. Shulga made a couple drives in the second half that were big plays when we needed them.
Big plays.
Yeah.
The thing is, Aggie shot 62% in the first half. You knew that wasn't going to happen. They still shot 52 in the second half.
Yeah.
You're just, sometimes you're playing a good team, and it just comes together. Second half, I think they only shot 37 in the first half. They only shot 52%.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good team.
One time I had it written down, they were 9 out of 16
Yeah.
midway through, so that's in the 60s. So.
The biggest thing for me following, going through the Mountain West tournament, it's going to have to be continue to play defense at the level you're playing now and don't fall in love with the three-pointer. Every time they got inside, they either got a good look or they had a good pass opportunity, and if you just start parking it around the arc, that's going to be trouble. Last comment, but obviously you can keep texting if you want, and we talked about this at the top of the show. Who would be your MVP of the game?
Taylor Funk.
Yeah, that was from 93-15.
He would be mine. Yeah. But again, there was moments for just about everybody out there. Like we said, it's a team win still. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, and I would agree. It was just so good to see Funk, getting out of his funk. Mm-hmm. And let's just hope that this is what it is that this is not a one game where all of a sudden he, just found the rim, found the bottom of the net, and is doing well. I'm hoping this is another nice long stretch, because I'll tell you what, if other teams have to not only worry about Ashworth, but now worry about Funk, and worrying about Bairstow, and worrying about Shulga, and worry about Akin, we're going to be tough to beat.
That's what the coach says. If we defend and we rebound, we're going to be okay. That's what the coach said before the game.
Sorry, I got one more comment, and I was going to let it go, but I can't. 54-64. Is Boise the BYU of the current Mountain West? The most obnoxious team fan base.
Come on.
Sorry, I got to throw that out there. They're a good team, but I love their passion. I love the passion and the fact that they show up. I'll tell you, Al, the first year I was up here in Logan, the first year Boise played here when I lived up here, I was stunned. How many people with flags driving up and down Main, honking, and I'm thinking that's what it's all about.
And it's been a football school, but like I said, they've sold out some games this year. So there's the last couple of years. Coach Rice, remember one time he said, if we sell out this place, I'll jump in the Boise River. And he did.
He did.
So,
But we got revenge tonight.
Yeah, we did. And again, the Aggies stopped the 5-game losing streak to Boise State with this win tonight. It was huge. So appreciate everybody joining with us. We do, again, urge you to be careful. Highway Patrol, again, telling you to have four-wheel drive, snow tires or chains if you're trying to go in the canyons. Don't go that way. Use Valley View if you are trying to leave the valley. So we've heard from the coach. We appreciate Jason Walker for getting that back to us from the press room. Thank you, John Russell. And so Thursday night, more than likely, it'll be a real late night when we're on with postgame. If the tournament bracket is the same, and I don't think they've changed it. I got the feeling they hadn't. So I think we'll play the last game of the quarterfinal night on Thursday, and we'll play the winner of the New Mexico-Wyoming game. Again, Wyoming still trailing San Diego State. BYU is going to beat Loyola, it would appear, and move on to their semifinal on Monday night in the WCC tournament. And you mentioned Utah lost. Weber State is playing Monday night in the Big Sky tournament, I think is their first game that they'll play correct. In that one. There were a couple of – I noticed that Bear Lake won the high school championship up in Idaho in 2A. Over at Montpelier.
That's awesome.
They won the championship over there. And Rich High School girls, I think, finished third in the state of Utah. I think it was when the boys finished fifth, I think is the way they worked in 1A in the playoffs there. Okay, let's do the final stats. Brought to you tonight by Cache Valley Bank. We've already told you Boise at 45%, 33 from 3. And again, 84% for the foul line tonight for Boise State. They shot 19 free throws. The Aggies shot 17. The rebounds are exactly 29-29, but second chance points were 8-7 for Utah State, even though they had a few more offensive boards than the Aggies did. They had 11 assists, 9 turnovers in their 25 baskets. We had the 24 assists and 9 turnovers with our baskets. Let's see, Boise State also ended up with a total of 4 steals for the game. They turned it over 9 times. We mentioned their scoring led by Abo, who ended up with 18 points, 13 for Rice, 13 Shaver, and 14 for Degenhardt. Okay, for the Aggies tonight, Aggies shoot 57% for the game. They shoot 32 out of 56. We mentioned points in the paint tonight were huge for Utah State in that advantage theirs. They had a 46 to 28 advantage in the paint, I think it was. 7 of 23s for Utah State, 15 of 17 free throws, so they continue to do well there, and they got to in these clutch and close games coming down the stretch. 29 boards, and we mentioned the other numbers there. The Aggies had just 9 turnovers tonight. Akin goes 4 of 5 in the field, 6 of 6 free throws, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, a block shot, a steal, and he ended up with 14 points. Z Hamoda did not score, missed 2 shots, had an offensive rebound. That's the one he put back, wasn't it, to Funk, turned around and scored it?
Yep.
Right off of that, he flipped it back to him on that play. That was a great assist, and so that was his assist for the night, and he had his 10 minutes of playing time. R.J. Idlerock had 1 for 4 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3, had 1 assist in the game, and did not score. Trevin Dorius played 11 minutes. He had 2 of 3 from the field, missed a free throw. He had a rebound. He had a block shot in 4 minutes and 4 points. And then Taylor Funk, 24 points, 9 of 12 from shooting, 4 of 6 from 3, 2 for 2 free throws, 8 rebounds, 2 of them offensive. Those first 2 putback baskets in the game, an assist and a steal. And Max Scholga, 11 points, 4 of 7, missed his only 3 for 3 free throws, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. He had a turnover, 31 minutes. Ashworth had 19, 6 of 13 shooting, 3 of 6 from 3, 4 of 5 free throws, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, did not have a turnover, and 4 steals all in the first half. It was terrific. It led to some fast breaks. And then Sean Bairstow, a solid game with 6 of 10, 0 for 2 from 3, but had 7 boards, 4 assists, just 1 turnover in the game. And so that gives you all the final stats for Cache Valley Bank. We mentioned the fast break points are like 12-3 or 12-2 in the game, as I think it turned out to be. Fast break points were 12-2, and points in the paint were 46-28. Bench points 16-10 for the Aggies. Second chance 8-7 for Utah State. So at 23 seconds, Boise led in the game. 2 lead changes, 2 ties. The Aggies had a 39-minute lead in this one and beat a really good team in Boise State to set it up again for Thursday night to play either New Mexico or Wyoming.
I had one last text, and I just want to throw it out from 1326. Said, I like the shot selection and decision-making from Bairstow tonight. Couldn't agree more, but I'd like to say I think you can say that for pretty much all the Aggies players tonight. Mm-hmm. Just a solid, smartly played game all the way around. And you'd play like that, you're going to get a W, and the Aggies get the win tonight.
Yep. So they go to Vegas for the tournament. The women will play tomorrow night, incidentally, at 8 o'clock. That'll be on the Mountain West Network as well as they take on is it when they take on Boise State, too? The women do. So. Yep, Boise State tomorrow night in the first round, as I remember. So all the attention to Vegas, and the Aggies play on Thursday, and they'll probably play the late game. So we'll start a half hour before that game starts. My guess is somewhere around 8:30 that night. We'll have a lot of pregame. Jalen should be back after having all of his stuff with AAU today, and I'm sure we'll get his good insight. And we appreciate John Russell as well. Appreciate the callers, the texters, and the sponsors who make it possible. Thanks, Cache Valley Bank, for the final stats. Whatever challenges, opportunities you face, Cache Valley Bank is there to help you. So drive carefully. Do not go to the canyon. If you don't have four-wheel drive, snow tires, or chains, it's real bad up there. Slick everywhere. Drive carefully. Take it easy. We'll join the following program in progress in just a moment here on KVNU Saturday night. We'll see you again Monday morning with the morning news.
Dr. Josh Redd, chiropractic physician, explains how Red River Health and Wellness can help you.
If you have low thyroid and you're taking thyroid medication, the biggest question you should